Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nelly V. Hope y'all are having an amazing week. We are back at it again, episode 8. You already know what it is, Married at First Sight. So this week's episode was pretty chill. Like, I didn't really even write much down because everybody kind of, well, some of the wives and husbands, they met individually with their friends. They had a housewarming party, and what else? Oh, and then like the wives had a little outing, some of them, and the husbands had a outing. So it was a pretty chill episode. So hopefully, you know, I can make this video under 25 minutes, you know, and we could get on with it. But if you're new to the channel, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Good to have you here, and we'll jump into the video. All right, we're going to start with Ryan and Clara because I feel like they're just moving the slowest and they've had like the least amount of development, so it's just easy to get them out the way. At the wives outing, Clara told the girls that her and Ryan kind of got into like a little fight. Basically, like, I guess they had some friends over. They were taking like Jello shots and he didn't want to take them. And then I guess he told her later that, you know, he just wants to be around people. You know, it takes him a while to open up, and he, you know, take shots, I guess, around people he's comfortable with, yada yada yada. I don't know, I feel like Clara doesn't feel like she can fully be herself around Ryan. She kind of alluded when she was telling that story to the girls that like he thinks like I'm this like party girl or whatever. And definitely like all the wives definitely drink more than the husbands this season, you can tell. But it's like, you know, she was having a little outing with her friends. It wasn't a big deal. I think she needed a release, and she's like wanting to like, you know, confide in the girls. And Ryan is very, you know, you would never hear about this argument from Ryan's side because he don't tell us anything about his relationship. Like, he keeps it really on like lock, on mute. So yeah, Ryan told the guys that he is, you know, really slow to trust and really, you know, guarded and stuff. And I don't know, I want to know who hurt him. I want to know how he was in these past relationships for more than, you know, a couple years. He said multi-year relationships, never said I love you. Like, I think there's something, you know, internal going on, like why he doesn't know how to love, or why he's so scared of love. And I don't know if he's going to be able to love Clara the way that she needs to be loved, or the way that she's wanting to be loved. She's already saying that she's kind of frustrated with the pace of their relationship, and I feel like she needs to kind of speak up because, you know, Ryan is gonna be moving like a turtle the whole season, as y'all can see. He's just on guard the whole time. Like, I just want to know what made him such a calculated, you know, type of person. He definitely needs Clara in his life to like let loose. So I guess they're just gonna have to continue working through that. At the end of the day, she still seems like really happy with him and really like, you know, in it to win it, and they both seem in it to win it. So hopefully they just start moving a little faster soon. Next, we're gonna do Brincent. So, you know, last week they had a little fight. Vincent was packing up his stuff, acting like he was leaving. We find out that he only made it to the parking lot. But honestly, even the parking lot was too far because you were doing the most. Like, you were doing the most. So we see their conversation where they're discussing it. But to me, it seemed like Vincent was still mad because Bree was saying, like, this is what I meant, da-da-da-da. And he was just, like, giving her, like, one-word answers. So, I don't know. They probably talked about it in private already. But, like, I wish that Vincent would, like, let Briana know exactly why he was offended and what insecurity this picked at and da-da-da-da. You know, some of my comments that you guys left last week were saying that, like, you know, y'all were bringing up his past, basically, like, you know, he was in a relationship with a girl who wanted him to have a degree, and Vincent doesn't have a degree. So definitely that comment definitely like made him feel like not smart and da-da-da, and that's probably why he was reacting that way. And I definitely agree with, you know, you guys who said that. So I just wish he would have given Briana like more of that explanation. But again, I'm gonna assume they probably talked about it in private, and that the conversation we saw was, you know, just for production and TV purposes. So yeah. When Vincent went out with his friend specifically asked him, like, has there been anything that has, like, made you want to leave? And that was a little concerning to me, because I'm wondering if, like, he was told to ask that by, like, the, you know, production, or if Vincent has, like, a history of just, like, walking out in arguments and his friends know that about him. So that was a little concerning. I put that in my back pocket to keep for later, because I hope, you know, he doesn't do that. But I understand, you know, sometimes you just want to let out steam. But Brianna was like, you know, we have a 2-bedroom apartment, so next time just, you know, go to the apartment. So, I mean, go to the bedroom. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, when he met with his friend too, his friend was like, when he told him the story, his friend was like, you was about to leave after, like, just for that? And I was like, yes, make him feel dumb. It was so funny the way he said it. But his friend gave him great advice. His friend was like, you know, you can't expect her to respond just the way that you would respond. You know, she's not you. And, you know, get out of your head a little bit. Like, that's not how she was meaning it. And really just expect the best out of her. So I think that was excellent advice, and I hope that, you know, that helps them, you know, avoid, you know, communication mishaps in the future. They had their housewarming. We finally saw Vincent's mom. I was beginning to think that she was just, like, in the Dominican Republic or something, because, you know, we never saw her. So I'm glad to see, you know, she was there, that they were chilling. Their housewarming was a little awkward, I will say. But I mean, I guess it was because the families were meeting each other for the first time. The language barrier too is of course another factor. I just thought there was, like, a little awkward parts, but it wasn't that bad. But yeah. When they were playing the 2 truths and a lie, Brianna tried to say something smart again. I'm like, Bri, you didn't learn your lesson? I think, like, yeah, like, whatever Vincent said was the truth. She was like, yeah, I know that, you know. I'm like, girl, you don't have him figured out. Don't let this man snap on you again, okay? So just keep it mellow. Keep it mellow. At the same time, I don't want her to be just, like, watching what she has to say, but also just be mindful of how your comments can come across. That's all I'm asking for her, Bri. That's all I'm asking for you, okay? But all in all, they had a good week. They seem to recover well. And I think that, you know, they're falling in love and everything is good for them. All right, next we got Virginia and Erik. So Virginia was, like, out of town for a couple of days for her friend's wedding. So Erik had some time alone. Erik said that, like, his fear is that she's gonna get bored of him and that, like, the connection's gonna die out. He said, like, you know, sometimes I go to, like, hug her and, like, it almost annoys her. I feel like, you know, like Haley, like, they've been single for a long time, so it's just like they like the person, but the person is, like, doing a lot, so it's, like, a lot to get used to. And I think Erik I don't think he's coming on too strong, but I think he can back off a little bit. He said, I want her to miss me. And when she came back, he was, like, asking her, and she never said she missed him. I was like, yeah, she didn't miss you because she was too drunk. Like, she was too lit to be thinking about you, okay? And then they were talking about, you know, she was like, you know, I was just worried about, like, the level of communication. And Erik was like, no, that was good. I mean, we were talking, like, you know, every hour or two. And he was kind of, like, putting words in her mouth. Like, she never said she missed you, and she never said that level of communication was comfortable for her. Her body language, her facials was showing that, like, it was a lot for her. And I feel like putting her on this rigid, like, schedule is not gonna be good for you. Like, because the moment she doesn't follow it, or the moment she goes MIA for 3 hours instead of 2 hours or whatever, you're gonna get upset. And it's like, I think you should just let it flow naturally. Like, if she wants to text you, she'll text you. Like, as long as she texts you, like, you know, when she's going somewhere, like, the beginning of the day, the end of the day, blah, blah, blah. But, like, all throughout the day, and she's at a wedding and she's out of town with her friends, like, just let her let her be a little bit, you know, just back off a little bit. And then you also told your friend, who Eric's friend was giving him good advice too. Shout out to the friends, because they were getting everybody together. He was like, you know, don't come off like you got more experience, and don't talk down to her, like, just because you feel like you've been down this road before, which is exactly what I said last week. Like, nobody wants to hear that. Like, chill. Yeah, so I think that you're worried. And then Eric said he's worried that, like, I don't want her to, like, feel like she wants to go back to her old life. And if you're putting all these, like, strict communication patterns on her, she is definitely going to feel that way. So Eric finally admitted, like, I want her to grow out of the party phase. I'm like, the truth finally comes out, because you've been saying it in more words or less, but he finally kind of flat out said it. And I'm like, your friend told you, Eric's friend told you, don't come at the angle trying to change her. And she already said she's not changing. And you already like, I wish she would grow out of this. So, gonna be a point of contention. The housewarming party, Eric finally met Virginia's guy friends. There was no girlfriends there, like not even her bridesmaids or nothing. So it was literally just Eric's guy friends and Virginia's guy friends. But it seemed like Eric was more comfortable with them. You know, they had a little, you know, powwow outside. And Virginia's friends was like, you know, don't be too controlling. I'm sure she told her friend about the communication schedule or whatever, you know, happened on the honeymoon. So I hope Eric listens to Virginia's friends. I hope he listens to his own friends and, you know, just takes their advice, because I know Eric wants to make this work. I think he really, really likes her for whatever reason. And, you know, he wants to be in this. So I hope he just adjusts accordingly, releases a little bit of control. I do also hope Virginia matures at the same time. Like, it's not, you know, what she's doing is not okay at the same time. Oh, no. One more thing, y'all. Virginia, did y'all peep when she said, you know, she goes out with her friends and her friends have her on like a 3-shot limit, but then she doesn't do it. So she ends up taking shots at home by herself. Up until now, I've been joking about the alcoholic thing, but now this is serious. You cannot be drinking alone like that. Like, girl, you need help. This is not okay. This is not okay by any means. And the fact that Eric's gonna be gone all the time, the girl gonna drink herself into just oblivion, and that's not okay. But anyways, you know, all right, Haley and Jacob. So I feel like Haley and Jacob made progress this week. There was kind of, you know, a breakthrough on Haley's end. I feel like Haley's friend got her together again. Shout out to the friends. You know, her friends was asking her the tough questions, like, what are you gonna do to show more effort? Like, you need to be pulling from places that you didn't know existed. Like, she was really getting her together, and I feel like it was like tough love, but I feel like Haley received it well. I feel like Haley does want this, but she's just in her head. And if she could just, you know, look past the things that Jacob, you know, the surface level things like the bad dressing and the 80s thing. Because her friend was like, well, I mean, that's like, even though I feel her, like, I feel Haley most definitely, because it is alarming. But her friend was like, you know, try to look past that and try to dig deeper. And so hopefully, you know, we'll just see how that happens. So Jacob told the guys that his fear is that they kind of make the connection too late. Like, once the walls are down, you know, what if, like, they just end up not being right for one another, or, you know, she's all in and he is not feeling her like that, which is a very valid fear, because they really might not be right for one another. So I could understand why he's thinking that way. I don't really think that's gonna happen, though. I think it will probably be the other way around. Like, Haley is the one who's more like, she's already kind of a little bit on the fence, so she's probably gonna be the one to be like, I don't really feel like this, and Jacob is gonna be like, but I like you, da-da-da. But at the same time, it's only they're moving towards that. They're moving towards making a deeper connection, but it's only going to go as deep as Haley allows it to go. So we'll just see how that turns out. So Jacob at the housewarming, he was telling Haley's friends that like all his exes were like disasters and this and that. I am always weary when people say things like that, because I'm like, Jacob, we already know Jacob lacks, you know, some social cues. He lacks some emotional intelligence, I feel like. So I'm like, is it always the ex fault, or are you able to recognize your wrongdoings and your issues that might have played a role in the end of those relationships? So that's one thing I'm like, okay, like not everybody was bad to you. Let's acknowledge, you know, your role in it too. Let's see. Jacob's friends told Haley that, you know, she needs to be just direct. Jacob is a straight shooter. You need to be straightforward. Haley clearly struggles with being straightforward. So if she can get past that, maybe they can at least start making some headway. I was proud of her at the end. I clapped for her. She initiated a conversation. They sat, they had a beer, they talked. I said, okay, Haley, look at you. Trying to make some effort. So, yeah, we shall see. All right, Chris and Paige. So, Chris has a conversation with his pastor and his friend, and he tells them what's been going on from the wedding to the honeymoon to finding out his ex is pregnant, all of this. And just because the pastor and the friend are telling him that he should stay in his marriage, the man throws a tantrum. Just because they don't agree with you, you're being disrespectful, you're on your phone, I'm done with this conversation. The maturity level is just so disgusting to me. It is so disgusting. So the pastor and the friend were saying like, Chris, you need marriage. Paige is a diamond. He didn't really give it a chance. I want him to stick it out. And I get the place that they're coming from, but the advice is not good advice, okay? He doesn't need marriage. Chris needs to work on himself. Chris is not ready to be anybody's husband. Chris is not a good person. This man is not a good person. He needs to work on his issues by himself. He needs to find God for real, because he is not a man of God like he thinks he is. He needs to confront just the communication problems. I told y'all, I think he's a sex addict. I think that he was even saying like sex makes you one. Like he's trying to disguise it as like biblically, and like the man needs help. Okay? And so he does not need marriage. He does not need to run Paige through the mud. He needs to work on himself. Okay? So then he calls Paige later and he's like, you know, I want to have a conversation with you and my ex-fiance. And Paige is sitting here like, I got to think about it, blah, blah, blah. What is there to think about? You have no business with this man. The man told you he wants to get a divorce. There's nothing to talk about anymore, sis. There's nothing to talk about. It would have been like, I will see you at decision day so we can fulfill our contractual obligations, and that's it. You have no business with this man. Why are you even considering this conversation? But then she's like, you know, I'm trying to take back my power, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, maybe she's going to go and she's going to boss up a little bit. And she kind of did, but she's still disappointing me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, well, let's go through the conversation. First of all, we get to the conversation and Chris doesn't say anything. Why is Paige leading the conversation? You invited me here. Why am I even speaking? It's like Chris always does this. He stays on silent, and that's what I hate about him, because he's not a man to me. Like, he's not a leader. He's not taking charge of the situation. You clearly just wanted this to be drama. You wanted these women to fight over you. You didn't even facilitate, no prompt, no nothing. Like, What was the point of them being here? What was your intention with this conversation? You wanted people to fight over. You wanted drama. And then when it flipped and Paige said, this relationship no longer serves me. You didn't have pure intentions in coming into this show. Your baby mama said, listen, I don't even want to get back with you. Then again, you want to throw a tantrum and now you're irritated and now you're mad. Are you okay? Is this man okay? Well, he's not okay. But it's like, whoa, like this master manipulation, this is just too much. I can't even believe somebody is really carrying on like this. Like, it's really disgusting to me, for real. But why Paige frustrated me is she is still acting like if it wasn't for Chris saying that he still has feelings for the baby moms, she would still be in the marriage. She was still saying, you know, I was willing to be a step parent, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but why? Why? Just the self-respect. She's not respecting herself. And that's the problem for me. Like, she's still acting like I was in it. I was ready, blah, blah, blah. Even after this man showed his true colors, you're still trying to be like, blah, blah. Like, what is the point of saying that now? Let it go, sis. Let it go. Even the way that everybody walked into the room, like Paige walked into the room, then the baby mom, then Chris or whatever. It's like, it reminded me of like a Love and Hip Hop reunion, like when everybody comes in one by one. It's like, Chris really is a master manipulator because he's manipulating production, he's manipulating Paige, he's manipulating these women. It's just, what do you think this is? Like, you think this is the Chris show? Like, get off of your high horse. Like, it's very, it just infuriates me, honestly. Now, the baby mama, as soon as she found out that Paige and Chris was intimate, it seemed like that's when she made her decision that she was not going to be with Chris anymore. Or maybe she already came into the conversation like, you know, I'm not going to be with Chris anymore. I have no business with him. But she was very like, oh, y'all was together? Boo, they were married. They were married for 2 weeks, but they were married. So I don't understand why she was acting shocked. And I mean, I feel like, do you not know Chris? Chris clearly, again, it doesn't have no self-control, is a lustful guy. And he told you he was married. He said he was intimate. And the fact that she didn't assume that they were sleeping together, I'm like, come on, girl. Like, 2 + 2 = 4. Like, let's put it together. She was saying things like, this relationship no longer serves me, da-da-da-da-da. But then we see in the preview for next week that they're still having meetings. Again, tell this man you have no business with him until decision day. And that's it. And leave it at that. That's all you need to do. Why are we still talking to him? So, anyways, at this point, you know, like I do see that Paige is making progress, but I need it to be a little bit more. Chris is disgusting to me. I'm turned off by him. I don't want to see him on the screen anymore. I don't want to see them on the screen, but it looks like we will. So, Paige said one thing you didn't like, and again, you go off. It's like, you don't want to listen to your pastor. You don't want to listen to your friend. You don't want to listen to Paige. You don't want to listen to the experts. It's the narcissism for me. Like, it's just, ugh. And now that the ex has said that she doesn't want him, I know that next week, the only reason that you have business to be talking to Paige is to play mind games with her once again and act like you want to be with her or beg for her back or blah, 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 blah. Like, and I just hope that Paige sees through the BS and does not, you know, give him the time of day. But we will just have to see what happens, man. It makes my skin crawl when I see Chris. It's just, let me know if I missed anything in the comments. Let me know, you know, what you saw. Like this video, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye.